disconnected. Please check your internet connection and try again.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We're gonna go ahead and just get in today's video. No introduction, no nothing, because as y'all can see by the title, today's a messy type video slash exposing myself. Yeah, overall it's just messy. So yeah, so I thought I'll put a little spin on it, and we're going to install a wig while telling this story. This is my first story time on this channel. Don't judge me. That's all I gotta say. Don't judge me. But yeah, let's get into this messy story time, because child, anyways, I've been out of high school for what, 2-3 years? Two years, 2 years, and this story still doesn't sit right with me. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do the wig cap method, and then we can hop right into this story time. Okay, let's go ahead and start cutting, and then I can start talking. I don't trust myself talking with scissors, so I'm gonna cut. I got a mirror down here, and I'm just gonna do that first. This happened around junior year, so I want to say it was 2018, 2019. I can't remember. But yeah, at that time, I want to say I was about, because my birthday's in the summer, I want to say I was about 16, 17. And my boyfriend was 17, 18, because he's a year older. Sorry, my sister's dirty hairs in my brush. We started dating sophomore year, and this was junior year, so we've been dating like a year. And yeah, we were just known as that couple. But it was, people always saw us as like an odd match type of thing. It's very weird. I guess because we were both quiet, but at this time we hadn't really done anything, if that makes sense. So it was really innocent at first. So fast forward to, you know, the time that we're at. I remember this day like the back of my hand. I hated this day because it was a testing day. I don't know how y'all school done it, but our school, HPC, Urano Bison, or our school, when we did the PSATs and PACTs and stuff like that, pretty much everyone else will be going like it's normal except for juniors and seniors. So every other class would have class changes. It's just that they wouldn't do the bells. So we were stuck in one class testing. It wasn't the whole day, but by third lunch, which is around, I want to say like 12-1, that's when it went in. So we were kind of used to it because, you know, they got everyone doing PSATs and stuff like that. So I remember, like, me and my boyfriend, at this time, we didn't really get to see each other a lot because I wasn't driving, he wasn't driving. He took the bus, I was a car rider. You know, some days he would show up, some days he wouldn't. Mr. Underachiever. But no, stuff like that. And our classes were always like different or in different buildings. So it was annoying. Like, y'all know how it is when y'all a teenager, you got your boyfriend of like 1 year. You know, you start being like, oh, he look good. Like, like you be like, he look scrumptious. Also, I'm talking about my current boyfriend in this. But yeah, so we were at that point where it's just like we never get to see each other. And that day we were talking about it, and it was like, man, it's gonna suck because we're gonna be in different classes because they go by last name. And this is what pissed me off. Like, the fates was not in our favor. No Hunger Games. Literally, both of our last names start with C, Cable and Cruz. But the A and the R are separate. So literally, he was like a class behind me, or like 2 behind me or something like that. And we were on the 3rd floor. Girl, that morning I was already mad. I'm like, dang, like, you know, gotta take this test so that, you know, we're like over here acting like we are Rose and Jet, like I'll never let go, I'm gonna miss you. And like I said, we're entering that point of our relationship where it's just like, let me start doing the wig. But yeah, we're entering that point of our relationship where it's just like, you know, you look good, or like you might be like giving like extra kisses and stuff. Like I remember our teachers used to eventually know we would date, because it would get to the point we'd be sitting there in the hallway and we would wait till like the last bell that's like, okay, get to class. And we would just be sitting there talking and like canoodling and stuff. Oh! Thing popped out. Yeah, we would get to like canoodling and stuff like that. And we were really just entering that part. So like I said, we're on the day of the testing. And for once, my boyfriend actually comes to school on time. So we had this place, like the layout of the school was that the bus lot was like at a pit, and on top of the hill and stuff was like the school. Well, it's weird, like so on one side you have another building that we call the T building, and on the other side you had the main building. And pretty much the main building, where it was like to your right if you're entering it. And there was a library up on the hill, and in front of the library was an entrance to the school. So we always had a thing where we would meet in front of the entrance, and right in front of the library. We always met right there. We would like sit there, we would hug, we would talk and stuff like that. We would kind of just meet up before class and then go our separate ways. So we were sitting there, we were talking, and we were just like, man, this test gonna suck. You know, honestly though, he doesn't like taking tests, and I was just like, you know what, get out the way. It doesn't count for anything. It's just trying to see how we would place in the situation. Y'all know how them things are. But yeah, so we're sitting there, and I come up with the idea. It was my idea. Of course it was. I was like, you know what? This was the initial plan. I was like, what we should do is after the test, because they had too much trust in us juniors. Oh my God. Like my class, we wasn't bad, but baby, we weren't the best. They pretty much trusted us that after the testing, we could go to lunch for like, our lunch was like 25 minutes, that we would go to lunch and then go to class afterwards. Let's just say the juniors skipped that day. Some went, some didn't, depending on if you liked your class or not. And let's just say, I was like, you know what? I want to do something risky. So I'm over here, and I tell, let's go ahead and give everyone names. So I go ahead, I'm just gonna call him Jay, because that's his initial. So I tell Jay, I'm like, hey, like, you know, there's this park up the street from the school. It's not that far. I think we should go over there and, you know, canoodle. And guys, when I say this, I'm saying it as like innocence. I don't want y'all to be like, oh, that dirt on a playground, Donnae. No. What I mean is just like I said, you're entering that new stage of relationship, so you just really want to like, oh, I'm cringing. You really just want to make out all the time. That's what that is. That stage where just like you can't keep your lips off each other. We were entering that stage. So, whoa, we were entering that stage, and he was like, you know what? Yeah. He was like, do you know where it is? I'm like, no, but it shouldn't be that hard to find. One thing, this was also risky, because if you didn't know, a weird part of our school is that we have a middle school right across. Like literally, you will have a class in front of the school, you look out the window, and the middle school's right there. And in between the middle school was our track, softball field, and our gym for the high schoolers. We shared the track though with middle schoolers, but still. So it was in between that, and we weren't in the best neighborhood. So it's just like, be real with you, cops was always going around there trying to catch people skipping and stuff like that. But yeah, we always had cops and stuff patrolling, so we're like, are we gonna take the risk? I'm like, duh, like, if anything, we just said we're going home, because a lot of people are getting like checkouts and stuff like that, because we've been testing all day, right? So I'm gonna let this dry, just air dry, because it's already starting to get sticky. So I'm like, you know what, let's go ahead and go there, you know, after the testing, and just like don't go to lunch and just go straight there. We walked to our classrooms together so we would know who's in which class, so after the testing's done, we could just meet up and go. So we ended up getting right beside each other, which is so funny. Like I said, our last names was literally close, but not close enough. The whole time we were testing, I'm just like, oh my God, like I'm ready to go. Like I'm not even focusing on what I'm writing. That test was bull anyways, bull. But I'm thinking, I'm about to see my boo after this. Like, I'm just like, let's go. Like this test taking too long. Like, definitely in the obsessed period. We was like Job in love at this time. Like, eventually the test is over. The test took like 4 or 5 hours. Hold on. We get done and I'm over here packing up my stuff, and I was very smart that day. I did not pack a book bag or nothing like that. I packed a little string bag with barely anything in it. Come on, we gonna have to adventure. We going across the world. Me and Jay meet us. His class got released before ours, because they had an announcement that the teacher still let them go. So we met downstairs, and everyone's going, everyone's buzzing. Like I said, like everyone's trying to go to lunch and do this and that. So we're like, okay, let's go. So we go through the front doors. Our school is humongous. It looks like a castle. I'm gonna put a picture right here. It is huge. So we literally went through the front doors and we're like, okay, well, we need to go through this door on the other side in front and then go down the neighborhoods into the park. Okay, we got this plan figured out. We get out the doors. As soon as we hit the doors, it starts pouring rain. And I'm like, no, and I don't like the cold. I do not like the cold. Why would I like the cold if it's raining? Who wants to make out in the cold? So I'm getting mad because I'm a perfectionist, and this just ruined everything. Like this ruined our whole plans. This was God telling me to slow down. This is exactly what it was. And guess what? My little ass didn't listen, and that's what I get. So then we're sitting there. He's like, we can still go. I'm like, in the rain? No, like it's raining, it's cold. Like this is not the time to go out. So he's like, well, I guess we'll just go back in for lunch. And I'm like, no, we're too deep in this, man. You can't leave the heist in the middle of it. So I'm like, no, I got another idea. I'm like, you know what? There's rumors around this school, because our school was built a long time ago. And a lot of people talk about the secret tunnels underneath because they were bomb shelters, which is actually true, but not really. But we have like a big furnace room under there that's literally humongous. And a lot of people go, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people went down there to like smoke, you know, do drugs, do stuff they ain't supposed to do, or just skip. So I'm like, okay, let's try there. So we're trying to hurry up because lunchtime is about to start. And our school did not allow us, if it's lunchtime, you need to stay in. You're not allowed to go outside, you're not allowed to roam the halls. All of this because we had a little school shooting. I know, y'all probably like a little girl, but yeah, so we had a little school shooting, and ever since then we couldn't go outside. If y'all want to hear that story time, like it up and put it in the comments. So we're trying to hurry up, because we're like, you know, like we're trying to find this place and be in there, so when the bell rings, we can just kind of maneuver out. So this little entrance to it was right beside the teacher's lounge. Yes, right beside the teacher's lounge. So this is very risky. Like I said, I'm over here doing Tomb Raider things, and it's just crazy. So yeah, we're like, okay, well, we gotta go down there, So we don't look suspicious at anyone walking by. I tell Jay, I'm like, go ahead and go down there. He's like, what? I'm like, go down the stairs and open the door. Keep in mind, I have already been down there before. I went down with a bunch of friends like after school. So I was like, okay, just go down there. The door should be unlocked because there's a lot of people going in and out of there. Like I said, students, and a lot of times they go down there for construction. And these steps are steep, and like I said, we're in front of the teacher's lounge. I'm like, do it quick. So I'm over here acting like I'm on my phone or something. I hear some teachers, but they're not really paying attention. So he goes down there, he jiggles it, he's jiggling. I'm like, oh my God, open the door and just go in. He's like, I can't, it's locked. I'm like, it's locked? I'm like, when did they lock that? I'm like, oh crap. A teacher probably like saw it was unlocked one day and some dumb student went down there and made noise, so now they permanently locked it. So I'm like, crap, bro. So he runs back up, and you know, we're sitting there, and I'm like, well, I guess it ain't gonna happen then, you know. This was God's second warning to me. You don't need to do this. And so we decided to leave out those doors. Those doors led to like the library, and it also led looking. And like I said, this is where being quiet, oh, the thing's not even open. This is where being quiet and listening to people kind of gets you in trouble. So, you know, I be in class and I was known as like the very, oh, gotta fix that. I was known as like the very quiet type. So I would just always sit there listening. My friends were very outgoing, like just the people I met, friends or associates were just known to be quiet. I'm sorry, I'm all up in the camera. I gotta see. So I heard another thing about how there were like secret stairs in the T building. Remember I told y'all about that in the beginning? So yeah, you got the main building, then the dip where pretty much the buses are and how the buses come through, and then the buses in the parking lot down here, and then the T building. So we need to go from here to the T building. I'm like, you know what? It shouldn't be that hard. I don't know why I became Indiana Jones in this moment, but I was really, Garfield was really talking. No Doja Cat. Like, I don't know what it was. But yeah, girl, I don't even know how I found this place. Okay, we can finally move on to the wing now because it's already starting to dry and stuff. So yeah, I decide, you know what, we're gonna try to find these halls of the T building. So in this building, it was really just, this building used to be for a different school. Like we had this thing called the academy, and pretty much these were just students that were exceptional and smart, and they would just like stay in that building, and it was pretty much an academy, like a private school thing, and they got to play sports with us. And eventually the academy moved to a different place, I forgot where, but pretty much we had like classes in there. Most of the classes in there were like sciences and music. So it kind of took on its own thing. So we decided to just go up, you know, act like we're going to our third class. Because at this point, lunch is over. Like it took us that long. Like lunch is over. It's been like 30 something minutes and we still haven't found anything. So I'm kind of like pressed a little bit. So I'm like, you know what? We're going to find this stairway, there's an elevator because, you know, handicap accessible. I need to do something with the wig thing. I feel like we're doing a lot of talking and not a lot of wigging. But yeah, so we're in the building, this T building, trying to find the entrance again. Like I said, this is the third failed attempt. God was really trying to tell me something. Did I want to listen? No. So we're in there trying to find it, and I'm like, where could it be, you know? So we're looking on the first floor, and we found the door. This door was locked, so I'm like, you know what? There's gotta be another one. Because pretty much there's a first floor, a second floor, and a basement. The basement has a music room. The second floor has a music room and other classes. And an office where there's police and another principal in that building. And then the top floor, which is just classes, right? So we go looking on the first floor, we find that door. And I'm like, okay, we're getting closer, you know. There's no time to give up. So then, this is where the adventure really starts. I don't know how, but on the third floor, there is an elevator. Like I said, most schools have an elevator for those that break legs, for, you know, special needs and everything like that. And they were located in this building, so I'm like, okay. So I go to the elevator and I'm like, you know what? Let's cut our losses. All of a sudden, I look to the right, and there is a door. And I'm like, ain't no way. We've been looking for like 20 minutes. And the bell's about to ring. Lo and behold, y'all. I feel like I'm on FaceTime. But yeah, lo and behold, it was that door. And it was unlocked. So I'm like, yes. Yes. Like, freedom. Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. So that I'm really feeling like MLK in that bitch. So we go in there, and this was the crazy part, bro. We get in there and we're alone. I start acting all shy, you know, like, you know, What's your favorite color, Stink? Like, you know, did the Lakers win last night? Like, I'm really acting like that. Like, girl, you was ballsy enough to find this place. Beat it over like that. So this is the wig that we're working with. It's not the best, but trust the process. I just haven't combed it or anything. But yeah, so we get in there and I am acting shy. Like, I'm like, oh my God. So literally I spent like 30 minutes talking to my boyfriend. Like, this is not what we do all the time on the phone. Like, what? So like I said, I am really just shy. And I'm like, yo, like, I don't know if I can do this, you know? So we're standing there and we're just walking up and down these steps. Well, we honestly were sitting at the steps. And this was really risky because for some reason, these steps had glass windows. So people could see us if they ever walked by, which is very stupid, Donnae. So we're going and, okay, I need to see, so I'm gonna get up close for a second because I cannot find this lace. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this bad boy on, and we're gonna go ahead and start flat ironing my hair while this is drying. So yeah, so we're sitting there and we're on like the first floor. We're still in front of the glass windows. All of a sudden, y'all, oh, this ain't going nowhere. Okay, Ghost Bond, sponsor me. But yeah, so we're already sitting there and all of a sudden, y'all already know that sound when you go to school. We hear them keys and them shoes and I'm like, I'm about to lose my mind. Like, what? And I'm like, oh my God. So we're scared because we can still see the door from where we're at. So we go deeper down because we're like, no. Like, you know, they can't see us. So we heard them, we heard whoever it was open the door. And I guess they were going to check to see who was down there. But thankfully, they didn't go down the stairs. Like, we were just sitting there scared. I'm like, bro, I can't get suspended right now. Like, it wouldn't have been that deep, but still, they probably would have done like some type of action. My school was very like that. But yeah, so we're down there now and we just dropped all the way to the bottom. Like I said, there's a basement area. So we're at the bottom and we're right beside this door, like right here. And like I said, I'm still being shy and stuff like that, but eventually, like, it kind of cools down. I'm like, okay, I've known this man for a year. You know, we had already said I love using stuff. So I'm like, you know what? It's whatever. So we're sitting there, and I'm about to tell you, if y'all know me, don't judge me. Your girl was down bad. Like, I was down bad, y'all. Like, I never had a boyfriend before. I never kissed nobody. I never went on a date, and this man gave me all that. And girl, to this day, he's a good man. Like, he paying for me. Like, what? Like, of course, I'm paying it up for a good nigga. Hey. So yeah, I went ahead and it's not even like that, y'all. So I went ahead and we started kissing, bro. Like any other teenagers would do in that situation. So we kissing. It is very important that y'all know the position that we kiss. Please don't judge me, family. I found God. Please don't. But yeah, so we started making it out. And like I'm against the wall and like, you know, he's like this. And, you know, all that. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm telling y'all this. You know, we kissing up on each other, you know, rub a little bit, rub a dub in the tub. But yeah, bro, we could not hear that well. That's probably something dumb on our part. But we could not hear. And when I tell you, we were listening to, like, we had our eyes, like, we had our ears listening, guys. Like, I'm dead serious. Like, we would have heard something. All of a sudden, that door right beside us, like right here, bust open. And I lose it for a second. I'm like, what the world? And we like yank apart, guys. Cause we're like, oh my God. So So we're sitting there, and I'm gonna name him A. All of a sudden, A busts in. So a little backstory. A is a friend that I've known for a while. When I say friend, I'm like bestie or always talking. He's just always been a person like, you know, we had a class together that day, so he was supposed to be in fucking class, but he wasn't. And I've just always known him, and we're really good like associates. And this is not turning out well. But yeah, we've always been like good associates. So he opens the door, and the minute that I saw his face, I'm like, oh shoot. Because this man right here loves to tell people's business. And I'm like, oh crap, at all people. And before I could say anything, he's like, there's a teacher down here. So I'm like, oh, all words got the door, we gotta go. So this was really my hood rat era. Y'all, like, y'all, oh my god. Oh my god, hood rat era. But yeah, so we're like, oh, you know, we got bigger fish to fry. So we just start taking off. And these curls are not working. But we're gonna try them though. But yeah, so we take off up the steps, through that door that we came through, and we're like, okay, so we just running. And eventually we get to like the other side of the building, and we're like, oh, nobody's coming, this and that. So when we get to the other side, it has steps as well. So like, you know what, that was a false alarm. You know, we're gonna go our separate ways. So as we're going back up the steps on the other side of the building, like I said, they're in the building though. It's not the same stairwell, it's a different one. So we're going up steps. My boyfriend's in front because, you know, he's kind of antisocial. And this is a social moment. He doesn't want to be part of it. Cool. You know, like I said, he just doesn't like to be around people. So he's in front and me and A are in the back. And we're walking back up the stairs. Like I said, we had just ran for our lives. So we're just going back up the stairs on the other side of the building. The regular stairway, not the hidden one, but the regular one. So he like pulled me aside. A pulled me aside a little bit. And hold up. Back to the video. So yeah, I'm just gonna straighten my hair. So pretty much A turns to me and he's like, what was that? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what? We ain't about to talk about that. We're running. Fugitives, that's the thing. People on the run don't talk about their crimes while they're running away. They're just like, okay, we gotta know, understanding. We both was doing something we're not supposed to do. So I'm like, okay, he's over here questioning me like, what were you doing down there? I'm like, what were you doing down there to be at the other side of that door? So, you know, I'm accusing him of stuff. He's like, no, like, you know, the people, because we were supposed to be in a certain class. We were supposed to all be in the same class. And he was like, no, like, I just couldn't go to Miss Gilmore's class and da-da-da. I'm like, boy, I understand. He was like, pretty much, we just got a group of friends and we're playing hide and seek in the building. And we're just trying to do something to pass the time. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, passing time. He was like, well, what about y'all? I'm like, we were just down there, like, just chilling. He gave me a look like, I'm like, no, for real, we were just chilling, wasn't nothing too serious, da-da-da-da. He's like, okay. So he's looking at me like, girl, you got something? I'm like, no, like, we were just handling our business down there. Wasn't nothing too fancy, right? So he goes, he's like, well, y'all have, like, that's the thing too, we got back down in the secret stairway. Just know this door was just open the whole time. Like, I don't know who opened it, but good to them. So he's like, okay, well, y'all have fun, whatever. So we go back down to the stairwell, you know, the secret one. And he goes back through that door and he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go find my friends. Y'all have a good day. And he got there to be like, be safe, wink. I'm like, okay, that was an ick. But when he left out the door, I realized that there's more to downstairs. And I was like, okay, well, it would be better for us to go into this little walk-in area. Like, literally, you walked out the door and there was like hallways and stuff. And to your right was a door leading to the music room. I would know this because I had music that semester. So I'm like, you know what? It would just be safer for us to be in here, da-da-da-da. The funny thing was there was cameras in there, but we didn't really care. So honestly, we just kissed a little bit, you know, told each other how we love each other, you know, all that giggly stuff. Innocent little things. Innocent, y'all. Swear to y'all. I wouldn't be telling y'all this story. Like, bruh, innocent until proven guilty. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take my edge stick and just go ahead and start laying down the front and everything. But yeah, let's wrap this story up because baby about to get juicier. So pretty much the rest of the time, we're really just sitting there. Eventually the bell rings, you can hear the bell. And we're just like, okay, you know, we're just gonna go outside through this door because there was a door right there. Another, like it's just doors on doors. So honestly, probably wasn't the safest idea. So we're just sitting, the fuck? Oh, hot comb's not hot enough. But yeah, so technically we're just sitting there and we decide to just go up to this little awning. Yo, we just went up to this little awning that we seen. And we were just sitting there till his bus got there. Yada yada, went home, nothing else about it. So literally like 2 days later, this comes back full circle to bite me in the ass. So I went through a whole day of school, and this is the crazy thing to me. This is the insane thing. I've seen A on multiple occasions after that incident, right? Nothing was ever said. We never talked about it again. 2 days later, like I said, it's very important to know that me and A had a class together. We had last period together. And the new character that's about to pop up, let's call her Y. So Y pops up out of nowhere one day after school. It's no big deal because we kind of just had, like I said, hood rat things after school. I would just hang out for like an extra hour, you know, stuff like that, see who's there. And eventually if nobody was there, I would just go home. So said goodbye to Jay. I'm walking back up the hill. I see Y, her boyfriend at the time, and you know, some other people there that I think her boyfriend knew. So I'm like, okay, like I'm just gonna sit here and chill. So we started talking, da 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 da. And I don't know how we got in this conversation, but we started talking about relationships. She's like, well, how are you and Jay? I'm like, oh girl, we good, like this and that. And she was like,
well, I was surprised, you know, you seem like such a good girl.
I'm like, where is this going? She proceeds to go on, and I'm like, okay, you know, in my head, I'm like, okay, yeah. I'm like, what are you talking about? You wouldn't, you know, take me as that person. She goes on and says, yeah,
that's just crazy.
Like she's not telling me. And I'm like, girl, like, what are you talking about? Like, please tell me what you're talking about. Like, I have no clue what you're saying. Ooh, I have no clue what you're saying to me. She goes, and she's like,
oh yeah, it's just crazy. Like, I never thought you would have sex in the stairway.
I'm like, what? Oh wait, no. I'm like, no, that's not me that you're talking about. She's like,
yeah, like you did it in the stairway.
I'm like, no, I did not. I'm very much still part of the V gang. Like, what? I'm like, no, you got the wrong person. She's like,
yeah, like you were in the stairway and this and that.
I'm like, oh God, this girl saw me down there making out and just made her own assumptions. And so I'm telling her, I'm like, I don't know what you saw, but that's not what that was. She's like,
no, I didn't see it.
I'm like, well, where are you going with this? I'm like, no, I didn't. I'm still, you know, very much that. And she's like,
no, like A told me that he walked in on y'all doing it in the stairway. I'm like,
A said what? And she told me like everything, and I'm like, no, that's not what happened. So I start telling her, and I'm like, no, like honestly, we were just innocently making out. And it's crazy because this was a different me. Like this me did not want like no one to not like me or anything like that. So my dumbass never confronted him, never said anything. And I'm just like, that was so stupid. But you know, it just irritated me because like, if he told her, that means that multiple people in our class, because he's a very loud, gossipy person. I don't know if he still is to this day. There's no bad blood, but I'm still kind of upset about it. But he's a very gossipy person. So just the fact that he said that to her lets me know, like I said, we're in the same class. Lets me know that he probably said it to multiple people in that class. And now these people are forming assumptions of me based off of something that he's saying. Like, what? I was like, oh God. And I just knew it because, like I said, he's such a big personality that is what is going on. And to this day, I don't know who thinks that this is true. And I'm just like, no. Like, it's just like I never got a chance to defend myself about it. And that's kind of what's killing me. So I'm like, I never got to say my piece. And like I said, my dumb self not wanting confrontation never said anything. And this story I have never told anyone this story but my boyfriend because he was part of it. I am a very low-key person of, okay, if you weren't in the situation, guess what? You don't need to know. So I never freaking told anyone, and I should have to see who knows. So just as a little fair thing, if you went to my school and you heard this and you believed it, it's not true. If you are one of my friends or one of the people that used to hang in high school and you were told this lie, please tell me and DM me, because that's crazy. I never, like, what? That's like, oh, I was like, that's so crazy. Like, I didn't really take it as a big thing at the time because I'm like, that never happened. You know, like, a lot of times I just kept the peace and was like, okay, well, I know what happened. He knows what happens. No one else needs to know what happened. Yada, yada, yada. But yeah, crazy. If you are like in school right now and that situation has happened to you, or you're out of school and that has happened to you, just know that ain't got nothing to do with you. And I mean that, like, that has nothing to do with you or your character or anything. So I'm not doing no baby edges because every time I do baby edges, I look stupid. So this is how we're just gonna rock it, plain and simple. Moral of the story is, don't be trying to move fast, because that will have you looking stupid. Another moral is, if you ever hear anything about anyone, just because they said it don't mean it's true. With that, that is the closing of this video. I hope you liked it. You know, go ahead and hit that like button. Let me know in the comments if anything similar happened to you, happened to anyone around you. I love you guys so much. Thank you for staying for this video / wig install. You already know, we the baddies. Kristen the baddie. Meaning everyone that subscribes is the baddie. So if you don't subscribe, are you the baddest? I believe you are. So hit that subscribe button, share, like, comment, repost, everything like that. And I hope y'all have a good day, babes. I love y'all and see y'all in the next video. Peace out.
Disconnected.
Banging on the